Good morning. It's time for another morning market Pulsewave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous Pulsewave price trigger reports. So, as you know, the markets are about to open any second now. And this is the time that we take to just look at what the markets have done in the overnight markets, excuse me, as well as what you can expect for the trading session. Now, yesterday we looked at some pre-market indicators. We looked at the 2-bar Charlie setups. So that was very interesting. And that's what we do here. All right, so without further ado, let's take a look at our screen as the markets or in New York Stock Exchange, as I say, is ready to open. All right. And there's our opening bell. So if you take a look at the US dollar, that's this one right here. You may not be able to really see it that well, but the US dollar is up 39 pips. It finally broke the 97 handle. We're at 97.19 is the high of the morning, and the overnight low was 96.62. Bitcoin futures is the big story in the overnight market. Bitcoin rallied to 45,085. It's now up 2,605 points, trading at 44,605. It did dip to a low, however, of 42,915 in the overnight market. Ethereum futures are also up this morning, up 184.5, trading at 3,023.5. Excuse me. We did hit an overnight high of 3,039.5 and dipped to a low of 2861.5. Dow futures right now, mostly quiet, down 105 points at 33,745. And the overnight low was 33,525. Even the S&P also basically quiet. It's down 4 3/4 points at 43.62 even. It did dip to a low of 43.22.5 in the overnight market and rallied as high as 43.98.5, just shy of the 4,400 handle. As we know, the 4,400 handle is a psychological resistance point for even the S&P 500. Looking at the Nasdaq 100 futures, it's down 41 3/4 points at 14,185 even. Overnight low was 14,070.25, and the market did rally to a high of 14,327.5. The Russell My Hustle just off a half a point at 2044, and it did dip to a low of 2023 last night, and it went as high as 2064.6. Looking at oil is up huge this morning, up $5.65 at $101.42 per barrel, just off the overnight high of $101.54 a barrel. The market did dip, however, to $95.29 a barrel in the overnight market. Nat gas really struggling to keep pace and hold on to previous gains. Right now, the market's only up a nickel at 445. It did dip to a low of 434 this morning, and the high was 455. Gold is really trying to hold steady, up $22 right now at $1,922.70 per ounce. Overnight high was $19.29, and the low was $19.02.90. Looking at silver is up 47 cents at $24.84 per ounce. just off the high of $24.87 in the overnight market. And the morning low from last night is $24.34. Next, we have soybeans. Soybeans and wheat limit up again. Soybeans right now are up 52.75 points at 1689.5. The high was 1697.25, and the morning low is 1638.25. So very powerful moves in the grains still yet again. Corn up another 33.8 points at 724.75. And looking at the overnight low, 693.5. And we're just off the high so far this morning, the high print of 725 and almost a quarter. Wheat up 50 even. It's been lock limit for the past hour or so. Lock limit up at 984 even, which is also the high of the session. Overnight low was 932.75. The long bond futures are up 1 and 17/30 and 158 and 7/30. The overnight high was 159 and 1/32. The low was 156 and 10/30. Taking a look now at the euro. Euro futures are off 74 pips at 111.53, just off the low of the session of 111.45. The market did manage to get up to 112.37 in the overnight. Pound sterling off 13 pips at 134.02. The overnight high was 134.38, and this morning's low session was 133.81. And last but not least, the Australian dollar is up 13 pips at 72.76, just off the morning high print of 72.91. And the low in the overnight was 72.48. All right, so what is some of the news events that is happening this morning? Well, JP Morgan analysts are saying that investors should hold on to shares despite the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They think that a rebound is yet to happen in stocks. Well, in a Monday note, the bank added that war should not massively impact the global economy and stocks are poised to recover. That's what they say, but there's an old saying on the street, and it's called talking your book. Obviously, they have some pretty large, long positions that they would like to see appreciate instead of decline. We have seen some massive volatility in the past several trading sessions. And here's another thing. iCapital's chief investment strategist said the Fed's rate hike pace, as well as what happens in Ukraine, will dictate where the markets bottom out and bounce back. In other words, it's not written in stone. Now, the market could see an upswing if the geopolitical crisis de-escalates and if the Federal Reserve signals it's paring back some of the more hawkish interest rate increases. That was reported on CNBC this morning. And on Bloomberg, the mighty top economist Mohammed El-Erian cautioned investors to position themselves for uncertainty, even if markets look like they're returning to normal. But here's what's going on in Russia's economy right now. Russia closed its stock market on Monday, and it will remain closed Tuesday with no indication yet on when it'll reopen. That is a big deal. Western nations pledged to remove Russian banks from SWIFT, which I talked about yesterday in our premium session. If you missed that, just log into your dashboard and you can take a look at the new content for our premium members. It's right there on your dashboard when you log in. So around the world, Russian banks are being removed from SWIFT. And as you know, SWIFT is a communication network for the global financial system. The word global, meaning that everyone's connected to it. Now, the Central Bank of Russia doubled its interest rate to 20% after the ruble plummeted and instructed brokers not to execute sell orders from foreigners. Now, this is a big deal. Remember, I talked about that yesterday as well, the risks of investing in overseas markets, investing in foreign countries directly, like literally opening up an account and trading on their exchange, et cetera, et cetera. That's a big deal. They're saying they're not going to honor sell orders from anyone who is a foreigner, anyone who is not Russian, any account that is an overseas account. They will not execute your sell order. Think about that just for a moment. What the world look like if the stock market was crashing and you couldn't get out and sell your shares? And let's say you were really long in the tooth on profit and you wanted to just go ahead and book those gains, and you were told, no, I will not execute that sell order for you. It's your broker. I'm doing this for your own good. No, only to watch your gains evaporate as the market continues to plummet to the point where all of your gains have now been erased, and now you're in the red. You're starting to lose money on your principal now. That would really hurt. That would suck. You and I both know it. It would suck. Well, that's what's happening in Russia right now. They were told don't execute any foreign sell orders, and their market is closed today, and it closed yesterday. And to boot, they doubled their interest rate to 20%. That's a lot of percent. In other news, global shares are trading sharply lower. Talks between Russia and Ukraine have not stopped the hostilities, pushing oil close to $100 a barrel and weighing on futures. And as I already indicated to you in the this morning's overnight wrap up, right now we're over $100 a barrel. We're $101.50 a barrel. Okay, earnings on deck. We have Target, Hostess Brands, and Wendy's all reporting today. And a former Goldman Sachs investment chief explained why you shouldn't panic about inflation. The infamous Abby Joseph Cohen. All the old heads out there, you know Abby. You remember Abby Joseph Cohen, the head cheerleader from the go-go 1990s bull market. Remember her? Yeah, man. She's saying that she's not concerned about that. Of course, they're paying her well to say that. Remember, they gave her a golden parachute of $100 million. Let's not forget that. All right. So another thing that people are talking about is how crypto is playing a major role in the Ukraine war. From sanctions to Bitcoin donations, the various moves are a sign of the times. The 21st century world arming itself with digital currencies in an inaugural war of the crypto age. So people are saying that the reason why Bitcoin is rallying like this is because of the war. Remember, Bitcoin couldn't stop falling. Now, all of a sudden, that war has broken out. It's rising. A top SEC official said crypto companies that admit violations of securities laws won't get an amnesty. The SEC chief, Gary Gensler, has said crypto regulation is high on the regulator's priority list for this year, and there's a new report that confirms that. Vladimir Putin has lost this war, and so have markets. That's according to Rabobank's global strategist, who predicts a rough road ahead as Western allies step up economic sanctions on Russia. The greatest risk lies in how much damage he is prepared to inflict on to attempt to deny that fact. I would not go as far as to say that he is on the losing end and that he has lost the war when they're still fighting. The war is not over with yet. All right, he's still over there. I think he is going to annex the Ukraine back into Russian territory, and there's not a thing anyone can do about it. That is my opinion. A pair of Amazon analysts debate whether the company should spin off its undervalued cloud business. While shares of the tech giant are underperforming Wall Street estimates, some believe a spinoff could create a $1 trillion in value. So we'll see about that. Evercore said investors should bet on stocks, and they think that there's some light at the end of the tunnel, even though we have all this market volatility. Another issue is that businesses are still struggling to attract workers. But a new study found that the labor shortage isn't exactly being driven by workers, and employees want different things. You know, we've discussed this before, and that's the fact that when you take a look at what is reported versus the reality, you realize a couple of things. And one of those things that you quickly realize is there's something just not right. We know that there are a lot of people out of work, right? We also know that machines are beginning to move in and take over a majority of said responsibilities. You can't ignore that fact that we're moving to an automated economy. All right, so we started off with the Industrial Revolution, then we went to the Tech Revolution, then the Information Revolution, and now we're going to the Automated Revolution. All right, where everything is going to be automated. Everything. Okay, everything. Think about it. Self-driving automobiles, restaurants that are already operational where there's no human being, everything's automated, everything's artificial intelligence, robots, machines, androids. Think about that. It is what it is. You cannot ignore the truth. So it's something just to think about. All right, just think about it as we move forward, as the days move on, how this is going to affect. Now, I'm of the opinion that for the most part, everything that can be known, that is known, is already factored into the price when we're talking about the markets. Another issue that you need to take a look at is that, actually, you know what? Hold on 1 second. Someone is actually at my door. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to have to cut this short. So you know what you need to do, pulsewavetrading.com. You definitely need the pulse waves to navigate these incredibly volatile markets. That's what we do here. All right, you know what it is. Bulls make money, bears make money, and picks get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.